In the year 2000, a struggling startup walked into the headquarters of America's biggest video rental company with one simple offer: buy us. The price? Just $50 million. The executives laughed. To them, the tiny company standing before them had no future. 20 years later, that same startup would become one of the most valuable entertainment companies in the world, while the company that rejected it would disappear. This is the story of the $50 million mistake that changed entertainment forever. Before Netflix changed the way the world watched movies, there was one company that seemed impossible to defeat. Its name was Blockbuster. By the late 1990s, Blockbuster had become the undisputed king of home entertainment. On Friday evenings, millions of families made the same routine. They walked through the bright blue doors of their local Blockbuster store, wandered the aisles, and searched for the perfect movie to take home. It wasn't just a business. It was a weekly tradition shared by families across America and many other parts of the world. With more than 9,000 stores and millions of loyal customers, Blockbuster wasn't simply leading the video rental industry, it was the video rental industry. Every new movie release, every family movie night, and every trip to rent a film strengthened the company's grip on the market. The business was generating billions of dollars in revenue, and its famous late fees were adding hundreds of millions more every year. To investors, competitors, and even its own executives, Blockbuster looked unstoppable. It had thousands of stores, millions of loyal customers, and a brand recognized around the world. There was just one problem. The company had become so successful that it stopped paying attention to what was changing around it. While Blockbuster focused on protecting the business it had built, a tiny startup was quietly preparing to reinvent the entire industry. And by the time Blockbuster realized the threat, it was already too late. While Blockbuster celebrated its success, a tiny startup in California was fighting just to survive. That company was Netflix. Founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph, Netflix had a simple idea: rent movies without late fees. Instead of driving to a store, customers could order DVDs online and have them delivered straight to their homes. It was a clever idea, but almost nobody believed it could compete with Blockbuster. Blockbuster had thousands of stores, millions of loyal customers, and a brand everyone recognized. Netflix had a small office, a small team, and very little money. Every day was a fight to stay in business, but Reed Hastings believed the future of entertainment wasn't inside a video rental store, it was in convenience. And that belief led Netflix to make an offer that would become one of the most famous moments in business history. They asked Blockbuster to buy the company for just $50 million. What happened next changed the future of entertainment forever. In the year 2000, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph walked into Blockbuster's headquarters with a proposal they believed could benefit both companies. Netflix wasn't trying to defeat Blockbuster, it wanted to work with it. Their offer was simple. Blockbuster would buy Netflix for just $50 million. In return, Netflix would manage Blockbuster's online business, while Blockbuster continued dominating its retail stores. On paper, it sounded like a deal that made perfect sense. But to Blockbuster's executives, Netflix wasn't an opportunity. It was a small company with an unproven business model and very little chance of surviving. Some reports say the proposal was dismissed with laughter. Blockbuster believed customers would always prefer driving to a store instead of ordering movies online. They thanked the Netflix founders for their time and showed them the door. As Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph left the meeting, they had no idea they had just witnessed one of the most expensive decisions in business history. Walking away from Netflix wasn't what destroyed Blockbuster. The real mistake was believing its business model would never become outdated. For years, Blockbuster had made hundreds of millions of dollars from late fees alone. Changing that system meant risking one of its biggest sources of profit. Meanwhile, Netflix was doing the exact opposite. Instead of charging customers for returning movies late, it introduced a simple monthly subscription with no late fees. Customers loved it. As internet speeds improved, Netflix saw another opportunity that Blockbuster failed to take seriously: streaming. While Blockbuster continued investing in physical stores, Netflix began investing in technology. It wasn't just changing how people rented movies, it was changing how people watched them forever. By the time Blockbuster realized where the industry was heading, Netflix already had a massive head start. The company that had once laughed at Netflix was now trying to catch up, but the future had already arrived. As Netflix embraced streaming, millions of people quickly changed the way they watched movies and TV shows. Instead of driving to a store, all it took was a few clicks and an internet connection. Convenience had beaten tradition. While Netflix expanded across the world, Blockbuster struggled to keep up. In 2004, Blockbuster finally removed its late fees, but by then, the damage had already been done. Customers had already discovered a better alternative. As more people subscribed to Netflix, Blockbuster began closing stores across the country. One by one, the blue storefronts that had once dominated neighborhoods disappeared. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. The company that had once ruled the home entertainment industry had fallen. Netflix, on the other hand, was only getting started. It expanded into streaming, invested billions in original movies and TV shows, and grew into one of the world's largest entertainment companies. The startup that Blockbuster could have bought for just $50 million was now worth hundreds of billions. The giant had fallen, and the underdog had changed the industry forever. Blockbuster didn't fail because people stopped watching movies, and it didn't fail simply because Netflix was a better company. It failed because it underestimated how quickly the world could change. For years, Blockbuster believed its size, its brand, and its success would protect it from the future, but history has shown that no company is too big to fail. The businesses that survive aren't always the biggest. They're the ones willing to adapt before they're forced to. Today, Netflix serves hundreds of millions of subscribers across the globe and has transformed the way the world consumes entertainment. Blockbuster, once the undisputed king of movie rentals, has become a reminder that yesterday's success is never guaranteed tomorrow. The next revolutionary idea often looks small. It gets ignored, it gets laughed at, and sometimes it's offered for just $50 million. So the next time someone says an idea will never work, remember the story of Netflix and Blockbuster, because in business, the biggest risk isn't taking a chance on something new, it's believing you no longer have to change. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to Empire Explained Doc for more stories about the companies that changed the world and the ones that failed to change with it. Thanks for watching.